Good morning. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Ready for some fun in the markets this week. I've been through the charts and I found quite a few actually, but not that many that got me very excited, to be honest. But we'll go through them, and because obviously it's early in the day and a lot can happen before you see this video, and before, as the day goes on, things can set up quite nicely and it'll just appear there nicely for us. Who knows? So we'll go into my watch list. Start with Aussie CAD. Hitting the daily 50, acting as very good support, and we had a few low tests, 1, 2, 3 low tests in a row, looking like it wants to go long. So look at the hourly chart. What do we see here? Well, we can see the same sort of thing, right? It's going sideways. So not looking particularly exciting, but those low tests are quite enticing on the daily. So this could set up for a nice IBO. Now, say IBO, we had a kind of breakout here not too long ago, but it's come right back down to test this support again. It's level down here. And then we've broken through the hourly 50 and the daily 50, which is green line, the thin green line. And the fibs line up nicely for a potential IBO. This will be an IBO A. So IBO B. There's no change of direction, change of trend in the 4 hour. There's actually no change of trend in the 1 hour. We've got a slightly higher low maybe from this one to this one. So it's a bit risky in that regard. For me, I probably wouldn't take it because of the fact it's going sideways for so long, but it is setting up quite nicely. So I'll put that into secondary. Just keep an eye on that, see what happens there. Now look at CAD Swiss. CAD Swiss, here we go. We've got the daily. Again, this time it's the daily 50 is acting as resistance. It's broken down below the daily 50, and there's a nice big high test on Friday, and it finished lower, which is a good sign. So generally speaking, the price action is sideways, which is not very nice. But there is a good breakdown yet on Friday, probably due to some news thing. Looking like it's needing an excuse to break down. We had that. And the 1 hour 50 is broken down below that, and the 4 hour 50. So if you do get a pullback now, doing the fibs from the very highs. That way they line up with the 1 hour 50. CAD Swiss, another 8 hours before it'll probably set up. 7 hours or so. And as you see, there was a gap, broke back down again to fill that gap. Now we need to pull back through the pivot, daily pivot, out to the fib. We have a few choices on here for the fib. We could even bring it down to these highs here. It came back here, depending on what the 1 hour 50 is doing at the time. And that will depend on whether it's an IBO or a CBO. It could still class this as a CBO, because the 4 hour 50 is before the 382, but not as good. So anyway, to see how that one sets up, it's going to take another 7 or 8 hours. That's a possible CBO short or IBO short. Let's get EuroCAD. There are a few more interesting ones which we'll get to. EuroCAD, bouncing off of support, going through the daily 50, now hitting the daily 20, but the momentum looks like it's going to continue. Looking at the hourly chart, we can see it's a bit of a rocky road, but look at the MACD, it's still looking healthy. After this reset down here below the 0 line, it's been getting high highs as the trend is trending higher as well. So that looks quite nice. Now the fib also lines up well for CBO. EuroCAD, another 7 hours away or so to the entry. 1 hour 50 will trend up a little bit, but generally speaking, we've got a few choices on the fib as well. Actually, you could even go from this low here. And that could be a very nice CBO. So that's probably one of my favorites. CBO long. Actually, I'll get too quick. And the profit target I've taken as as the R1 from daily pivots. That'll be an obvious place for people to take their profits. That's 1.8%. Actually, you could even tighten it up a little bit, 2%. Or you could push it a little bit higher if you wanted to, up to these highs over here, recent highs. But yeah, in doing that, take more risk just for an extra 0.5%. So that's however you do your trading plan dictates how you take profits. Pound Aussie. Okay, another trend that's going up. Let's just support there where it's broken through that one, so not really important. So we've got an uptrend trending towards 30.50. Very complex. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Could be 5 waves in there. And looking for some more long action today because quite a bullish day on Friday. Here we go to a chart on the 1 hour, and it's very sideways, not very exciting in that regard. But we do have rejection from the 4 hour 50 again, a nice break and retest of the 1 hour 50. It'll be a nice little IBO if you're brave enough to jump in on that sideways action. And that's playing out quite nicely. So really we've missed the IBO. Now it's the pip snatcher is the obvious one. Quick 1-to-1. The quick pip snatcher today. Pound Aussie, anytime that can set up, although it does seem to be going north at the moment. If that pulls back, that could be a nice little pip snatcher long. Pound yen. Quite a few pounds pairs going long. Pound yen, a bit sideways, a bit messy, breaking above the daily 50, quite a bullish day yesterday. This is one of the few yen pairs that actually looks half decent. And again, we're kind of breaking, we have an uptrend change, we have a change of trend in the 1 hour. We've now got to get a pullback for a pip snatcher or yeah, pip snatcher, ACBB maybe, but pip snatcher is probably the best option for quick 1-to-1. Pound Kiwi. Breaking above the daily 50. Came back, broke through it, came back, retested it. Doji on the daily 50. Bullish day on Friday. Looks like that's going to continue today. That looks quite good. The general price action is a bit messy, but it looks okay. We had an ACB set up on Friday. Not the cleanest, not the most obvious, but we did have a kind of wedge forming. Broke above that, retested it, actually breaking above the daily 50 at the same time. That was pretty good. Now the best thing I think is a quick pip snatcher. That pulls back to our pivot, 1 hour 50 catching up. Later on, Pound Kiwi, any time of day, but that could be a nice quick 1-to-1 pip snatcher. I'll speed up a little bit now because we've got much of the same things going on. Pound dollar, a nice low test on this level here, which was quite significant going back. And looks like that continue up towards the daily 50 at least. Now I couldn't get the fibs to line up. That's the big drawback with this trade. Where the fibs are at the moment doesn't line up. You could take that as an aggressive entry. You could do. Lines up the daily pivot. It means you have to break down below the 1 hour 50, then enter as it breaks above the 1 hour 50 again. Okay, just a quick 1 hour wick would be nice looking entry maybe. They could line up, but otherwise it'll be pull up a bit higher and then pull back. So keep an eye on that one. The Swiss, just dropping at the moment. We've had a pull back to the day 2050 zone, almost touched it, and then it's been going down ever since. Not very convincingly, but it's been trundling down. So the important thing for me here is what's the MACD doing? So we've had a MACD reset here, as in above the 0 line, and then it went down. That's looking pretty strong there. Pull back again to pretty much the 0 line. And since then it's been doing okay. Now for a pip snatcher, we need just to pull back to the daily pivot and the 1 hour 50. 1 hour 50 is a long way behind. The MACD looks like it's going to end up as a MACD divergence. We don't know yet because it hasn't quite finished its downward momentum, it seems. But so maybe just keep an eye on it. Maybe that'll set up for a pitch lecture short. Maybe it won't. But the 1 hour 50 is not looking too good. It seems a bit too far behind for me. Keep again. Breaking below this, just test the trend line. Break down below the daily 50. Looking to keep on going short. I'm not quite sure why. It looks like it's decelerating to me, but we'll see what the hourly chart gives us. Okay, so this is trending down. The MACD seems to be okay still. Marginal. It could be a double bottom there. But if we get a good breakdown below the 4 hour 50, which is this blue line, when it comes back and we test the 4 hour 50 with the 1 hour 50, that could be a nice CBO short. So just want to keep an eye on, maybe that'll set up later on. Could have got some ones which may set up later. I'll whiz through these. Aussie Swiss, nothing much looking on the daily chart, apart from stalling at this level. Looking at the hourly chart, kind of sideways, not sure what it's doing, but the MACD for me is giving me a good hint that it's going to go higher. So we need to find a break of the 1 hour 50 pullback and an IBO long. Aussie dollar. Now this one's looking a bit nice. So it's got a nice low test, although it's not quite on the daily 50, but pretty close. Nice low test on Friday. We haven't actually got a decent break and retest, and the fibs wouldn't work anyway the way they are at the moment. But if it does break higher and pull back to the hourly 50, that could be an IBO long. We'll draw back as a daily 50 right in the middle, so that's maybe a reason not to take it. And Kiwi CAD. Again, stalling at this level, looks like it might go higher. We need some proof, we need to change the direction, change the trends with high highs, high lows, which we'll get when we get this, if we get this break higher, pull back to the 1 hour 50 and take that as an IBO long. The last one I'll have a quick look at is dollar Swiss. This one's looking quite nice actually. I love that high test. The high test is really good looking. Whoops, well done there. So yes, there's a nice high test looking like we're going to go short today. The fibs won't line up, but if you do get a break below the 4 hour 50, pull back, it could be a lovely CBO short. So something to keep an eye on. Maybe later today, maybe. Okay, so quite a few things to keep an eye on. Some look quite nice, not very many, but definitely worth watching the charts today. I wish you all the best in the markets. I will see you tomorrow. If you're not a member of ProTrader, scottprotrader.com, free training. Learn about how this all works and get one of the strategies we use will be described to you in detail, and how you can basically change your life by learning these skills and trading the market successfully. Wish you all the best. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. I'll see you then. Bye bye.